So even though this is money and investing related, it's something very new to the channel, and I'm kind of nervous putting it out there because it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's something I feel a lot of people can make money on, and also I feel the content should be quite good. Now, if you have been following the LWT Instagram, the new account which is just here, you will probably notice that I just spent 3.5 million Hungarian forints, which is about 11,000 US dollars on this. What is in this box? This investment is the biggest of its kind I have made in this category by a hell of a long way. And I'm excited, I'm nervous, but I genuinely keep looking back and I feel this investment could 3x in the next 5 years. I don't normally make predictions like this on the channel, but I want to go through with why, and I also want to unbox this bad boy in front of you because I feel it should be shared with the world. Now, I have took a gamble here, so hopefully you appreciate. If you could do me the kind favor, make sure that like button is turned blue. It will let me know how many people like this kind of content. Also, it will help me reach a larger audience. If you want to help fund pay for this thing, sign up with eToro on the pinned comment, deposit, make a trade, and you get lifetime access to our eToro Discord. You can go in there and you can ask me any question you want about this whiskey. Yes, that's a whiskey. Which you probably guessed already given the thumbnail and the potential title of this video. I just spent 11,000 US dollars on one bottle of whiskey, and I'm going to tell you why and why I'm very confident in this investment. Now, myself, I didn't just blow my whole net worth on one single investment. I have literal investments in every category you can think of other than NFTs. Other than that, actually thinking I do own 2 NFTs in form of comic book, but it was just testing the water, video coming soon. But I have gold, I have several businesses, I have properties, and of course I have stocks like Alibaba. But this, which is a whiskey, I do have several bottles and I'm growing my whiskey collection, which I see as an investment. And I want to clarify here, I am not a whiskey guru. I know probably more than the average bear, but I do consult others who are much bigger in the whiskey game than I am when it comes to picking a bottle to invest in. So even after this video, don't rush out and blow 11,000 US dollars on this bottle. Make sure you do your own research, check the market out. I'll go through 1 or 2 websites in this video that you can go and check the value of each bottle of whiskey on things like Whiskey Exchange, which is basically an eBay for whiskey. Now, those of you who are sat there skeptical thinking, how the hell can whiskey go up in value? Well, there's been numerous studies that whiskey ETFs and whiskey investments have actually outperformed the S&P 500, outperformed gold, and in 2018, up until that point, they'd even outperformed cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And if in 2012 you bought the rare Apex 1000, which is a whiskey index tracking the 1,000 most popular bottles of whiskey on planet Earth, if you'd invested in 2012, you would have nearly 5x'd your money in 10 years, which is insane. But coming back to myself and whiskey as an investment, I do love a single malt scotch. I have to put my hand out there, and I love it, and that's probably why it's a bit of a passion for me. And over time, over the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I've started heavily investing. Well, not heavily. I've bought a few bottles for $1,000 to $1,500, which have now actually more than doubled in price. But I have over time realized this is a solid asset that I can make money on, and it's a good hedge against stocks, especially given the current environment. And even though this cost me $11,000, and trust me, it was hard to part with the cash yesterday, or even just on the card payment system, I just tapped it with PayPass and it worked, which is mind-boggling and scary for Hungarian banks, but nonetheless it worked. But paying for this did scare the pants off me because I could have put that money into a safer, or what's deemed a more safe investment. But back to the bottle in hand. This is called a Littlemill Testament, and I genuinely feel this could 3x in 5 or so years because of the sheer demand this bottle itself is going to have. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with whiskey, first thing you want to, when you're looking for an investment whiskey, is you want to find not Johnny Walker or Jack Daniels or anything of the sort. You want to find rare whiskeys that people genuinely like or have a story. I bought a whiskey called Untold Riches. There was a spelling mistake on the box, for example, which of course is going to increase its value over time. It's the same as collecting stamps or anything along the lines. The only difference is stamps, once you've got it and you put it in a case, it's there forever. With whiskey, a lot of rich people buy them to drink. So as they drink them, there's less in the market. Simple supply and demand. Now, the reason why I liked this bottle more than most and why I forked out $11,000 was, if you didn't know, Littlemill, the distillery itself, is the oldest licensed Scottish distillery in the world. 1772, this whiskey company got its license. Now, to put that into perspective, that's 250 years ago, and it was 4 years before the Americans claimed their independence. It is a very old company. But since it was founded, it has had many owners, and it has passed hands. It's been closed, reopened, closed and reopened. And in 1823, a lady called Jane McGregor bought the company, and she was the first licensee who was a female in Scotland, but also the world. So this company has a great heritage, but unfortunately, it ends in absolute catastrophic circumstances. Because in 1994, it was bought by the Bullock family, and the stills were never going to be used again. It closed. It was completely closed, and the distillery stood still. In 1997, the distillery itself was completely dismantled, and to add insult to injury, in 2004, this historic site that has got many people around the world fascinated with caught fire and burnt to the ground. It is no more. But luckily for me and other investors who are appreciative of a good Scotch can buy a Littlemill whiskey. Some of the casks were luckily stored off-site, and that is what the testament is. It's a whiskey that is talking about heritage. This one itself is over 40 years old from when it was first put in its barrel, and it has watched and listened as the distillery it was made in has burnt to the ground. This little bottle of whiskey is my way of having a little piece of history, and given there is only 250 bottles of them in the world, and already people are opening them and drinking them and reviewing them, it's going to be hard to part with when the time comes. I know it's going to come, but this for me is something that I feel I've got a piece of history that's going to go up in value. It's absolutely an honor to hold. And I feel that myself, I should actually open this because I've not opened it at home yet. I should open it with you on a YouTube video. Hopefully I don't drop it because I would probably cry, and that might actually get more views, who knows. But I feel we should open this together. I'm not obviously going to open the bottle and drink it because that would be insane, but open the box and talk about it a little bit. So an unboxing video on LWT, who would have funked it, right? So the first thing you notice is the box is probably quite big, and it's actually really heavy. And this stone here, which actually is inscribed 1772, marks the date where the company was actually founded. And this stone itself is actually from the building that was dismantled. So again, a piece of history. If we open the box, we can then start to see this amazing bottle, and we can actually take the stone out if we wish. And if you didn't know already, this is actually a cork for the bottle. Again, an absolute amazing touch. It's going to be really hard to part with this one. We've also got a book down here which is commemorating the Littlemill distillery itself. Again, I've obviously not opened it, so I've yet to read it, but I'll probably do an update video at some point. It talks about the beginnings of Littlemill. It's got some of the inscriptions, how they got their licenses and all their owners. And what's more with this whiskey is obviously it's very expensive to open and drink. It's obviously going to lose a value, but you can actually order a sample if you own one of these and drink that instead. I don't know if I'm going to do that, to be honest. I'm going to weigh up the options later down the line and see if I order this sample, will it actually affect the price if I sell the sample with it? That's something I've yet to see. I need to see a few bottles go in circulation before I make that decision. But if we just, I mean, you can see the packaging on this bottle. Joking, I was joking. But just holding this, I mean, this is literally a piece of whiskey history. And on top, there's a little inscription here, and I'm going to try and describe that to you. Each bottle of Littlemill is testament to the unique distillery that set the course for the future of Scottish whiskey. I'm sorry if I struggle to read that there, but it's in silver and it's got obviously a cover on it, so it's hard to do. But what a beautiful, beautiful bottle. Wow. I'll put some B-roll over the screen now so you can this is amazing. Absolutely stunning. So honestly, in itself, I know it's probably not much to some people, but to me, this is, yeah, I don't know. It's like visiting Elvis Presley if you're crazy about Elvis, I guess. When I bought this, the gentleman in the shop, Levy, who, if you're interested, maybe I get him on the channel. He's a whiskey absolute genius. He was hugging the box because he didn't want to see it leave the shop. So yeah, maybe I'll get Levy on. If there's enough interest in whiskey investing, I can get him on and we can share whiskey and talk about potential investments. So you're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy with a beard done? He just spent 11 grand on a bottle of whiskey and he's nearly in tears. Why is this a good investment? Strictly speaking, if we're just talking from a financial standpoint, this whiskey, there's actually less than 250 because we can go on Whiskey Exchange and see that people are actually opening and drinking these bottles and giving reviews. So first thing, I've already probably made money there. The second thing is, as with everything in stocks, I always buy value. I actually got a bit of a discount when I bought this, so I'm already definitely in the green, provided obviously I find a buyer for 11,000 plus US dollars. But in generic terms, like I said, the reason whiskeys go up, as everything that's collectible, like a Charizard in Pokemon cards goes up, is the rarity, the condition, but also the scarcity. Now, if you think about it in going on Pokemon cards, if there's any millennials watching this, everybody who buys a Charizard, let's say 20% of them are buying them to burn, because that's what a lot of people do. This level of whiskey, there's probably only two buyers. There's one who's buying it for an investment like me, and then there's the ultra rich who are drinking it for a 60th birthday party or something along them lines. Maybe even just because it's a Tuesday, if they're that rich. So as time goes on, less and less are in circulation, pushing the value up. But also, as more people drink it, provided it's a good whiskey, then of course that helps contribute to the price. So if you are interested in whiskey, I'm thinking about sharing my Excel with what I've bought at what price and how much profit I've made on the last sale of this bottle, because actually I outperformed the S&P 500 last year, obviously in unrealized gains. But the weird thing is, as the stock market has started falling, whiskey prices are staying the same, if not going up. So maybe this is actually a good revenue source to start looking at for maybe a side hustle for some independent investor. I've literally bought bottles of whiskey for $100, which a couple of years later are going for $300 and $400, and it's also a conversational piece in the house. So if you are interested in that, let me know down in the comments. We're going to talk about it more and more in the Discord. We're going to open a Discord whiskey investing chat room if there is enough interest for it. So drop the code word down below, which is Littlemill. If you want more whiskey videos or no whiskey videos, also let me know down in the comments so I know. I did take a gamble, and apologies if I've ruined anybody who wants to go and YOLO into Alibaba or any other stock like NEO. Please don't buy NEO. If you want to learn more on investing and how actually to look at stocks, check that video out up there. I actually go through some valuation metrics which everybody will find beneficial. Even if you're an advanced investor, go check that video out up there. That's it for me. Thank you very much for making it this far. Seriously, it's an honor. I really want to do more content on this. So if that floats your boat, let me know down in the comments. Take care. Peace.